You don't need to protect your energy. And I'll tell you why. We've been taught to guard, shield, and defend our energy like it's something tangible or breakable, as if the world is out to take it from us. But the more I wake up, the more I realize there's nothing to defend when you're no longer attached. There's nothing to protect when you stop identifying with everything that isn't truly you. We only feel the need to protect when we're hooked, when we've attached to somebody's story, somebody's reaction, someone's energy, when we're attached to the outcome. But as the observer, you don't need protection. You just need to be aware. You can't absorb someone's energy unless something in you is open to receiving it. Not open in a spiritual sense, but open through identification. We absorb energy through association when we've linked ourselves to the outcome, people, memories, expectations. But when you're just presence, just stillness, energy passes through. It doesn't stick, it doesn't linger. You can't protect yourself from something you're not involved in. So maybe it's not about protection. Maybe it's just about not logging in. We feel like we need to protect our energy because we keep giving it away by engaging, by absorbing. We say, I need to protect my peace, but it's not your peace that's under threat. It's more our identity or how we associate with the situation. If you're deeply rooted in awareness, other people's chaos won't shake you. You might empathize and feel the energy, but you won't become it. You'll witness the energy, but you won't carry it home. You can't see energy, but you can feel when it's trying to pull you in. And that's where your choice lies. That's where your choice lives, right there. The road rage, the coworker that is in competition with you, the need to be always right. Most of the time, it's not strangers we need to watch. It's the people we've built connections with. Maybe a coworker, friends, people we used to connect with, people you've shared energy with. That's where it gets tricky. The closer the connection, the deeper the imprint. And it's the familiarity that makes us more vulnerable in those situations. But again, vulnerability only exists when we're identified with the person we think we are. The more we detach, the more we return to presence. Detachment is the door to freedom. Let me tell you something that's often misunderstood. There are dark forces there is resistance. There are energies that come to disturb peace. But they can't reach you when you're moving in divine presence. Evil recognizes truth. Low vibrations feel the frequency of authenticity. But the catch is they'll show up in human form. So we have to stay aware, especially on this awakening journey. Because not everyone you meet is awake. Not everyone's ready for stillness. And you'll know them not by their words, but by how your spirit feels around them. Listen, there's no judgment here, just honesty. I learned to protect myself by cussing people out when I was younger. That was my armor. That was survival. Some of us learn to fight. Some of us learn to bark back, to raise our voices before anyone can touch us or touch our wounds. It wasn't about being strong. It was about not being hurt again. That was energy protection back then, survival style. But survival feels like you're constantly on defense. These days, let's be real, you're more likely to need protection from a gun than from someone's energy. But even guns don't go off by themselves, do they? It's always energy behind a trigger. And that's that energy, that lower consciousness, reactive type of energy that we're really talking about when we say protect yourself. One thing this journey keeps teaching me is how to shift from being a person to being a presence. A person needs validation. A person needs protection. A person needs to be right. But presence just exists. It doesn't argue. It doesn't defend. It doesn't prove. You can't fake presence. You can't fake peace. Energy doesn't lie. Most people won't even try to engage you once they feel your groundedness. And the ones who do are often still living in their ego. You don't have to go to a toxic job or a triggering relationship to encounter energy. Just step outside. Energy is everywhere. At the grocery store, even driving your car, on your phone, in your thoughts. So protecting your energy becomes this exhausting task if we're always in battle mode. But if you stay in presence, if you stay in awareness, you don't absorb, you don't react, and you don't become what you're witnessing. That's real protection. It's quiet, subtle, but powerful. True consciousness is not offended. It's not offended. When I was growing up, the strongest people were the ones who got the last word. That was a culture that was ego. But now I'm okay being silent. I don't need to win. I don't need to respond. I don't need to defend. My energy, that's been my biggest shift. I'm becoming more quiet. I was quiet before. And when I say quiet, in that stillness. But I realize that I'm becoming more quieter now. The ego moves in defense, but the soul moves in stillness. The ego reacts, but presence observes. When you live from presence, you don't need to protect anything because you've already let go of what they're trying to touch, which is the identified person. And we use words like guard, protect, block, but those come from fear. When I first started to become more aware of this was when I was actually trying to protect my peace. But I realized that even trying to block people's bad energy is an energy. It reinforced the idea that something can be taken away from you. But your energy is not up for grabs. What can be taken wasn't real peace to begin with. Real peace cannot be touched. Only ego can be bruised, offended. So stop protecting what you think is you and start observing who you truly are. That still rooted presence underneath all the noise. Lately, I've observed myself becoming more quieter. Not because I'm trying to be, but because something in me no longer feels the need to respond. The joy of being quiet. Mm-hmm. And that's how I know I'm becoming presence. Now, I'm not a teacher, not a guru, just someone who's becoming. And so are you, if you're watching this. If you've lasted up to this point. It says here that I've been talking now for almost 15 minutes. You are becoming. We're not all at the same level of consciousness, but we're becoming. So no, you don't need to protect your energy. You just need to stop giving it away. Stop attaching. Stop reacting. And return to the awareness that has never needed defending. That quiet inside you. That's the real protection. That's the real protection. Thank you for sitting in with me. I appreciate your time. And if anything resonates, leave a comment or a heart emoji. Share the love, spread the love. The world needs it. We're all growing on our journey. So remember, you are not here to guard your energy. You're here to be energy. Presence.